Yeah, man. They started it on Tuesday because they actually, yeah, by the time they got us situated in here and it had gone past the time to order the chemo to get it started on Monday, so they started on Tuesday morning. Yeah, it's not as harsh as some of that other stuff, that I've had, and and it's in combination with a pill that I'll take. So hopefully it'll be the 5 days. It's supposed to be 5 days of the infusion, and I'm also taking the pill at the same time. And at that point, then I can do it like outpatient, and it'll just be in the pill form. So, and the hope is that that will get me back into remission. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a 4 day thing. Yeah, and that stuff was terrible. Yeah. So right, right, it's not as harsh, and I might have to do 2 or 3 cycles of it, to actually, make to get into remission. But I think they said once every 28 days. So yeah, 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 yeah. Last night I got feverish, but that's because all my counts are dropping again, of course. And the fever actually comes from the white blood count get low. So it's to be expected, but they have to go through all the protocol to make sure that it's not necessarily infection and it's just fever from the white blood count being low. So I had to get stuck in both arms. They take like a blood culture from each arm. They did a chest X-ray, and then they put me on some antibiotics. So yeah, all things considered, yeah, I feel okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely, it definitely sucks. But yeah, but hopefully, like I said, I'll get out of here Saturday, and then I'll be able to do the rest at home. So or outpatient. So yeah, we'll see. Nah, man, I can kind of get up and walk around. They don't want me doing a whole lot though because all my counts are super low again now. Everything is low. Yeah, and with the platelets being low, you know, one wrong move or something and you trip and fall or whatever and get the bleeding, you know, that could be very bad. I did get a platelet transfusion today. I was at like 10 and they went up to like 30. But yeah, this is one of them situations where before I found out the leukemia had returned, it was just the platelets that were low. But now that I'm doing this chemo, everything is dropping, because it basically wipes out everything. So yeah, they don't really want me doing a whole lot. Yeah, I finished up season 4, waiting for five now. Be waiting, well, waiting for five whenever that's gonna come out. Yeah. And it's funny because when the Mayans ended, it kind of rolled into season 1, the pilot of Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, yeah. It just kind of like, because you know how it goes like from episode 7 to 8, 8 to 9, or whatever. Well, it went from episode 10, season 4, episode 10 of the Mayans, right into the pilot for Sons of Anarchy. I started it. Yeah, I started watching it, and it's weird because I kind of got an answer about who a certain character was that I had never seen before. Was in the pilot of the Sons of Anarchy, and had just made an appearance in the last season or the last episode of season 4 of the Mayans. It was crazy. Yeah, yeah. So it was like, oh, okay, that's who that is. Because this person just kind of like came out of nowhere. I didn't know who that was, but it was, yeah. It just popped up on the screen. Next, season 1, pilot of the Sons of Anarchy, and it just rolled right into it like it was like it was like another episode of the Mayans, but it wasn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah. So I don't know. I might have to do it now. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That mine's is, yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. Yeah, I mean, I have to watch it on my phone. Ain't no, yeah, ain't no Amazon. Yeah, I got the Prime Video on my phone, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. No, I ain't got nobody. Yeah, yeah. I had I had a bad week last week too, so yeah, I feel it. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. 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 Oh, he's coming on the second. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because earlier when I had talked to him, he said first through the fourth. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. 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 Not really. I'm in a weird place right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like in that, they said the leukemia was 50-50, or it was 50-50 on, my cells and or the leukemia cells, and 50-50 the donor cells. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, man. It's kind of like, I really wanted that transplant to work, you know what I'm saying? And I have struggled, with the news these last couple of weeks, that the leukemia was back. And at the same time, it's like I know I got to stay positive, you know, and just see what this treatment holds, what I'm doing now, and and I guess the sooner that I can kind of like get myself more positive towards the treatment I'm doing now, the better off I will be, because it's kind of like what's done is done. What has happened has happened, But so yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm just kind of like in that middle space right now. It's like, damn, I really wanted that transplant to work, but at the same time, it's like, I got to get on board and and be positive about this new treatment, and hopefully it'll do the job. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of like caught in between. But I mean, this thing seems to have had some pretty good success, and so all I can do is just do what they tell me to do and see what happens. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is, I just don't really want to be like in that sick mode. You know what I'm saying? And with these numbers coming down, that's a possibility. The fevers and all of that. So, but I mean, it is what it is, and it wasn't really bad last night, but it was weird because I noticed myself getting the chills first, and I let them know. Because normally that's probably something I wouldn't even told them. But I did let them know. I was like, look, I'm having some chills. And it was probably a couple hours later, 2.5 hours later, maybe 3 hours later. And that's when they said I had the fever, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, that's usually what comes next after the chills. And, so yeah, that kind of had me frustrated because at that point I was like, I knew I was going to have to do the blood cultures, and I was going to have to get stuck because they can't draw it out of my line. I got a line up here that they can draw blood out of, but when they do the blood cultures, they can't take the blood out of that line. They have to physically like get it out of a vein, and they have to do both arms. And I was like, shit, I'm like, I gotta get stuck. And then they came in, they did chest X-ray, and it was just a lot of traffic in and out, and just didn't get any sleep. But honestly, they gave me some Tylenol and they put me on the antibiotics, and I've been good since then. And I'm hoping that I remain that way. But fevers are definitely something, when your white blood count, they pretty much made that clear. When your white blood count gets low like that, fevers is usually the first thing that happens. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's infection. And I've had them before in the past, and it never was really anything infection wise. So, but yeah, once you reach that certain temperature or whatever, you get that fever, then they kind of jump into action, trying to make sure that it's not infection, because that's like some of the worst stuff that can happen if you get infection. So yeah, but yeah, yeah, it's just one of them things. You be like, shit, because you're gonna have nurses, and you're gonna have people in and out. pretty much all night, and that's kind of how it was last night. You don't get much sleep in the hospital anyway. But then when something like that happens, yeah, you can pretty much count on the fact that you're not going to get much. You're not going to get any hardly because they're going to be in and out. Which is good. They're on top of it. So yeah, man, that's where we're at right now. We just hoping that this treatment will work and will put me back into remission. And then once I get back into remission, I'll probably have some decisions to make. Because I think there's a few different avenues we could go. One of them being a second transplant. Honestly, right now I'm not really on board with that, but I may change my mind. I got time. I ain't got nothing but time. So we'll see. Yeah. And here's the thing with that, because me and Melanie have kind of talked about that. They struggled to find a 10 the first time, and with the lack of donors, we've had that discussion. Black donors, yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what the chances are of them finding a 10. It would be nice if they could find a 10, but yeah, that second transplant, the numbers, the success rate is like cut in half, and that's kind of what has me, like, yeah, do I really want to go through all of that again? Because the 100-day thing, all of that is in effect. Because I asked them about it. I was like, if you do a second, is it? So it really sounds like it's not really any different than doing the first. And like I said, that's me right now. When the time comes, who knows? Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, right. Oh yeah, yeah. Look, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, 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 yeah. That works, man. That's work. That work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Yep. All right. Much love to everybody.